3. Okay, so how were you diagnosed with a hearing impairment, and what kind of symptoms led up to you having hearing loss?
I got diagnosed when I was 31, but my father had horrible hearing, so it wasn't a surprise that I might have that.
Oh, okay.
I realized that I was reading lips much more than I was hearing, so that's how I realized, when I went and saw an ENT, they did an investigation. I got asked, do you know sign language at all? And I said, yeah, I know it a little bit. The ENT said, that's good, one day you'll need it.
Wow, okay.
So that was how I got diagnosed. But I knew that, and I knew that I had a family history along that line. So.
Okay, so it wasn't anything specific that caused it. It was just
No, I mean I could feel it. I could feel it going. I once had really, really acute hearing, and then I would be asking people what.
Yeah.
What, and that. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
And certain ranges were harder than others. High pitches, really hard.
Okay. All right. So, what are some existing symptoms and characteristics that you have now?
Oh, now?
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm much worse. I really should get hearing aids, but I haven't yet.
Yeah.
But there was a time where I realized I was relying a lot on reading lips. I had an occasion where I was waiting for a friend at a restaurant, and there were two people seated about 20 feet away from me at a 45-degree angle. And I realized I knew exactly what they were saying in their whole discussion.
Really?
It was quite the salacious discussion.
Oh, no.
So then I knew I read lips.
Okay.
And I then had a coworker who, when he would get up to speak in conferences, he would put his hand like this if he was really thinking. And I realized I wanted to walk up and smack that hand out of the way because he was at the other end of the room and couldn't hear him. And I couldn't read his lips.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
And from a dental hygiene standpoint, I'll tell you one of the things that's hard to read lips on. 2 parts. You guys wear masks, that makes you can't read lips.
Right.
It also muffles sound. But also when we're laying back, you're actually upside down.
Oh, so you can't read them at all.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. All right. So then, what about, do you have any inabilities to perform activities of daily living, such as communicating or an instrumental task, such as using the telephone? Is it harder?
Telephone usually is, at least for me, isn't hard because the amplifiers in any phone, and especially in cell phones, they're pretty good. But I don't ever do it, I don't hold the phone out from me. I always have it to my ear.
You don't use the
And
speaker?
it's always this ear because this is, of the two, the better ear. And I will orient people to my left so that I can hear them.
Nice. That's pretty cool. Okay. What about, so you said you don't use hearing aids. Is it just because of the cost, or you just haven't gotten around to it?
It's a combination of the last two. It's more getting around to it because I didn't need them a year ago, but now I do. So it's, I've had a decline over the year. So, last year I thought, I can still kind of hear something.
Okay. So how does this impact your daily living or your day-to-day life? What does daily life look like for you? I don't know.
Well, there are things, if my back is turned towards you and you call out to me, there's a 50-50 chance I'll hear you. Okay. If you're in front of me, like you're talking to me right now, I'm getting a whole bunch of visual cues that help me. And I am, I I don't think it's because I have hearing issues, but I am much more a visual person than an auditory person.
Mm-hmm.
So I would take more visual cues anyway.
Okay.
I'm thankful I'm not an auditory person because then I'd be completely lost.
Well, that's good. So looking at the positives.
Yeah. But I do say what a lot. What?
Yeah.
If someone's off to my side, they say something to me.
Yeah.
So it affects some parts of my life, but it's not catastrophic.
Okay.
And I do know how to finger spell, and I know beginning to semi-intermediate sign language.
Mm-hmm. Did you take a class, or you just know it from?
When I was growing up, I had the brother of one of my good friends went to Gallaudet High School for the Deaf in Washington, D.C. And so I learned some then. And then when I was in my mid-20s, I took a class over at Redlands Adult School.
Okay. Nice.
When my daughter was born, my wife and I, before she could speak, we taught her how to say please and thank you and things like that, being a sign.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
If you ever have kids, teach them early because
Okay.
they pick it up like that.
They do?
Yeah.
Huh. I'll have to note that down.
Don't teach them how to say candy because that's all you'll get.
Okay, let's see, what do we have here? So you already discussed some of the barriers that you've encountered with like dental and medical care.
So
And get dogs,
I've
too.
got one for you to consider.
Uh-huh.
So I'm there in the chair, and you need to go get the approval for what you finished from your mentor, right?
Right.
Since I've watched you guys for years over different people, what's the first thing you do when you step up to your mentor to talk to him?
I step up to talk to my mentor. Greet them? Or?
You and your mentor do
Uh-huh.
one thing right off. You pull your mask down under your
Oh,
chin.
yeah.
Because guess what? You use visual cues too.
Mm-hmm.
But it also is that it muffles the sound.
Mm.
So the person who has hearing loss has a much harder time when you've got your mask on.
Right.
Can't read the lips, we can't hear as well, you know. And in the sort of the clinic where there's chairs everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
right, instead of a private room, there's more ambient noise too.
Oh, okay.
But if you have a patient who's struggling, take the mask down,
Mhm.
and then it'll be easier for them. Not
Okay.
necessarily will it always work, but it'll be easier.
It'll be easier, yeah. And then you said like sitting up the patient, so like if they do read lips like you,
Mm-hmm.
then we're not upside down. So we
Yeah,
just leave
like
you laying down
if
there.
you, yeah,
Mhm.
or if you step in front
Okay.
and talk, then it's not a problem. But if you're all the way laid out,
Mm-hmm.
you know, then like I said, your face is upside down, so then reading lips is out.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, so let's see what we have. So you said some things that you wish that we would do in order to make your visit more comfortable for you.
Wait, I have two more to add on
Oh,
that.
two
Since
more,
you got
okay.
a question on that one. In any given dental office,
Mm-hmm.
one person should know how to finger spell.
Mm-hmm.
Not sign, but finger spell. It's easy to learn finger spell. You know, A, B, C, D.
Mm-hmm.
You get an ability to talk with someone who also knows finger spelling. You can get basic concepts back and forth. The other is have a clipboard somewhere with pieces of paper on it so you can write to each other.
Oh, that's a good idea. Wow. Some good ideas. I'll have to write those down. Okay. So I think that should be it. Let me see. Any other questions or facts to increase public awareness or education of hearing impairment and to assist us in better serving as healthcare providers?
I guess and I don't know how I don't know the right advice.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard if you have someone who's blind, let's say, it's obvious right away, right? It's not obvious that someone's deaf.
Right.
You know, you can see hearing aids, and then that gives you a trigger, so you have an advantage there, you know. But it's hard to know right away unless somehow someone informs you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you ask a question and they don't react, hopefully that informs you.
Just a cue.
Yeah. If you're yelling fire and they're just sitting there blithely. But yeah, I think there are a lot of people that I know with hearing loss that don't like to say they have it.
Right. And why not, do you think?
Well, first off, you get some people who decide that means you also are not bright. They not only will increase the volume, which is good, but they will act like you're a 3-year-old comprehensively.
Oh.
They will slow down to the point of, do you? It's like, oh, I
It's
can
a little
actually,
bit too much.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So you want to, I mean, if you realize you have someone who has a hearing issue, talk to them, try and talk a little louder, see if that helps them. But you don't have to, you know, take your cues from them. If they can pick it up from you just being louder, then you probably don't have to do something else.
Right.
But monitor them. It's going to be a back and forth thing, because if they're really bad, you know, my sister lost her hearing aids while she was in Europe.
Oh no.
Yeah. And it wasn't no. So her friend had to do the talking for her. But, you know, look for the things. If you have someone who struggles to hear what you're saying, if you talk a little louder and then they're not struggling, then that's all you have to do.
Yeah.
But then just take it incrementally of each different thing that can come up.
Don't just like assume that they can't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Treat them as equal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Makes sense.
Anything else I can think of? Yeah. Like I said, get in front of people when you really need the information. And then if they can't do it, like I said, get a clipboard with paper and use that. Because you can go back and forth really quickly on
Right.
that. You know, especially when you have those complex questions, okay, you know, do you take, I forget what meds, you know, get in the thing, and okay, if they can't hear, med names may be really complex to them.
Yeah.
You can write it out for them.
Okay. Makes sense.
Or you could have those questions printed up larger, in a larger font, so that someone could just read it really easily while they're sitting there, even if they didn't have their glasses on.
Okay. Okay, well, good. Well, thank you for letting me interview you.
You're very welcome.
It's very
Did
good
a good
advice,
job.
and I'll try and apply it to my work as a hygienist.